Good morning, everybody. I am joined today by the beautiful Leanne Toohey from Captured by Lee Studios. Leanne, thank you for joining me today. How are you?
I'm wonderful, and thank you for having me. I'm so excited about this.
Oh, good. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Now, for those of you who don't know Leanne, she is a portrait photographer and she's also the CEO of Captured by Lee Studios. She has commanded her camera professionally for over 20 years, and she specializes in female portraiture, creating beautiful, upbeat, fun experiences for every woman to feel like a queen, to feel pampered and discover her inner and outer beauty. She has made it her life's mission to support, empower, and celebrate everyday women in their pursuit of self-worth, self-love, and confidence, helping them discover their power to be, do, and have whatever they desire. Her studio is located in Thirlmere in New South Wales with clients from all over Australia. Beyond her professional work, she spends time with her children and enjoys outdoor activities, reading, and landscape photography. Leanne, what a gift to be able to give to other women. How does it make you feel being behind the camera?
I just love it. And when I see somebody go from nerves to all of a sudden they feel empowered when they walk out of my studio, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling seeing like these women just bloom. It's beautiful. And I love it.
And I've seen some of your work. Obviously, we've worked together in the past. And if you haven't seen Leanne's work, you guys head over to her website because it's just absolutely gorgeous. She really captures the soul in a photograph. And if a photo is not just a thing for now, it can last for generations, and it's such a special thing for people to be able to look back on their ancestors and the people that they love and be able to really see their soul in an image. Is that what you think, Leanne?
Oh yes, for sure. And especially when you lose somebody close to you, one of the first thing you always look for is a photo. I lost my mum, and I actually don't have a beautiful photo of my mum that just describes her to a T. So, and my dad. I've got a beautiful photo of my dad. I did take a photo of him before he died. But, it's precious. So precious.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. For those women who come to you, because I'm assuming there's quite a few who don't feel that comfortable behind the camera, do you have tips and tricks that you can help them to feel at home?
Yeah, I do a lot of joking with them. We have a bit of a laugh. And when they walk in the studio, I feel that they know me beforehand. I do a lot of marketing, and I feel I'm just a regular person as well. And so when they walk into the studio, they feel, I feel comfortable. They feel like they're walking into home.
Yeah. So, you've got such a beautiful, warm energy around you. I'm so sorry. Hang on, this is real life, you guys. This is what running a business in lockdown looks like.
And we've all been there. We're all mums.
This is my life. Okay. I think, look, when I was younger than I am now, I won a boudoir shoot at a hen's night, actually. Come to think of it. And when I went and got it done, I was like, feeling really uncomfortable. But when I looked at the images after, I actually felt really empowered. I was like, wow, look at that. And I think that this is something that most women would feel uncomfortable doing, but I also think it's such an important thing for every woman to do, is to go and see herself in that very feminine, gorgeous way. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel every woman should do it. Yeah. Every woman should see. Just, we are living in a society that we have certain, expectations and of how a person should look like. But when we actually see ourselves, we look in the mirror straight on. What we do is we tend to look in the mirror straight on, and we're a bit boxy, and we're sort of don't know how to pose properly because, who knows how to pose except some of the girls do. But especially women at my age, I look in the mirror and you think, oh, I can see the lines, I can see wrinkles, we can see all different things that are happening to us. But when you get in front of the camera, I can pose people to just turning a little bit can just take a shape of a person and create more feminine lines. And when they see these photos afterwards, like the experience is a lot of fun, but when they see the photos at the end, that is when women, they cry and they think, well, that is me. And that's exactly how the people that love us see us. One thing I do say to some women is the people that love us the most are our children, for example. Yeah. And they're looking at us from below. They're looking straight up our nose. And below, it's not flattering at all. Like you get all these lines and everything. But they love us. They look at us and they love us anyway. Whereas, and I feel that's something that we have to remember. And I'm taking from angles that you probably wouldn't ever see yourself ever. So, and it's really nice. Yeah, I love it. Love it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So when we come out of lockdown, I do hope that all the women near Thirlmere or traveling through Thirlmere will consider going and having a shoot with you, Leanne, because it is such a beautiful, beautiful, heart-opening experience that does greatly change the way that you see yourself. And I think that that's so important for so many women to realize that you are beautiful, no matter your shape, your hair color, your ethnicity, your language, the food you eat, your experiences. You are beautiful.
Yeah.
Even if you need to know.
Yeah, exactly. And even some experiences that we've had, or if we've been living in an environment that we haven't felt, or we've been put down, or we haven't felt empowered, or we've had things happen to us in our lives that, I mean, we tend to listen to people that if they put us down. So this is one way, one little small step to make you feel beautiful about yourself. Like you said, Tarryn, we all need to feel like that. Just to move on.
Absolutely. Exactly. Yes, exactly, to step into the very best version of yourself. Now, speaking of the very best version of yourself, you have just written a chapter in a book that's being released on Friday. How are you feeling about that?
I'm so excited. I have a little bit of nerves there too, just because I did share quite a few vulnerable things that I probably haven't shared with anybody else before. This was a really good way for me to go really deep and let some of the things I have been holding back so I could share with other people. And I want other women to know that I've been through a lot of things that I can understand where other people are coming from. And if I can overcome a lot of this stuff, anybody can really. And so, I'm really excited about it. Thank you.
It's so exciting. I was choosing the categories for the book yesterday and I was just like a kid in a candy store. I was like so inspired by each and every one of you amazing women who have written in this book. Now, how was the writing process for you? This is the first time you've written, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I have always putting my life into 3,000 words, I found quite cutting it all down was whether I put the right parts in or not. I found that the hardest part. I have always journaled, like I have diaries scribbled everywhere. And I did reread a lot of that, which brought a lot of memories back. And I use that as well as because I came a bit later into. So I had a really short time frame, and I felt that pushed me a lot, and which I found that quite well. But I loved it. I loved just writing and having someone else read my story as well, and then correcting the little bit of making changes and stuff. That was really I love the fact that someone else looked at it and read over it too.
Yeah. It's important for the quality of the book, but not to change your voice at all. And I love that my editing team is able to do that in a very sensitive way, because these books are very raw, real and vulnerable stories that, like you said, a lot of people have never shared before. And did you find it a healing process at all, this writing journey?
Oh, yeah. It was, it's been really, really, really empowering for me as well. I look back and I didn't realize how strong I have been. And that's understanding that, of just like, wow, I have gone on a huge journey of ups and downs. So, And
has it changed the way that you see yourself now that you've gone through this process?
Yeah. I'm a much stronger person. Again, I feel like I'm just growing and growing and growing, and I feel like I've still got a lot of growth in me. I think we all do. Yeah. We all keep growing.
Yeah.
I'm 55.
You're either growing or you're dying, as they say.
That's right. I want to grow. I still
Me too.
Yeah. So, and I feel like I'm not at the end of my life. I'm 55. And sometimes I remember thinking, like, in my 30s, wow, 55 is pretty old. But now I feel younger.
It's only about halfway, if that, in modern day society.
But I've got so much to do and so much to share, and this has really helped me, like, because you come a certain way and you go, oh my goodness, if I could do that, imagine if I could do this. So I've got a lot happening in here that I want to expand on and just keep moving forward. So thank you so much. And it's
my absolute joy to facilitate the process. It's such a beautiful journey for people. Now, can you give the people who are watching or listening to this a sneak peek about what your chapter may be about?
I started my chapter in my divorce, like when I was going through my divorce. And my husband, he got custody of my boys. So that was always a struggle for me, because my life is about my children. And it was just, I went up to Lightning Ridge with my parents, who they had every winter they were sort of going up to Lightning Ridge, which is an open and just sitting there one day, it was virtually straight out of my diary, and just having a really deep conversation with my mum and bringing all that up as well. It was good, and just how I then envisioned my life and how I could manifest to become a photographer. I really wanted to do that, so it was sort of how I grew to become a photographer and share my life with somebody else, like with other people. So
it's amazing. Such a beautiful, beautiful story.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard bringing a lot of memories. And it sort of happened when I was writing this. It was the anniversary of my mum's passing. Like, she's been gone 16 years now. So, and I realised back then, that was 20 years ago. Yeah, I only had 4 with her between. Yeah, it was. So I really love this whole process. Really love it.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Now, for those of you who are listening and would be interested in participating in a multi-author book project like Leanne has, and 18 other amazing women in Phoenix Rising, Corporate Dropouts is our current multi-author book project open for applications. It's called Corporate Dropouts: From Employee to Entrepreneur. Meet the entrepreneurs who took the leap and soared. So if that is you and you would like to participate in the magic that is a multi-author book project, then please head over to the website or send me a message on social media, and we can have a look to see if you would be a good fit for that project. Leanne, I am so excited for the world to read your amazing story and get to know you a bit more when Phoenix Rising launches on Friday, not tomorrow, next Friday the 24th. And It's such a joy always talking to you. So thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Tarryn. I love you. And you just nurtured all of us all the way through the whole process and made us feel safe. And thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so glad.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, Leanne.
You too.
Bye.
I highly recommend.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.